What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Today's video, we are on the test server here, and we will be playtesting one of the brand new updated champions. He's not brand new. He's very, very old, and but he was recently updated. It's going to be Harvest Jack. Aesthetically, I think he's an amazing looking champion. One of the best in the game, definitely. He's got the 4 starter heads wrapped around his neck on a chain. You see Gaelic, Elhain, Aethel, and Kale. It's actually a really nice detail here. This champion is really old, from like 2019, and he has been absolute dog poo for the longest time until most recently he was rebalanced. Let's check out his kit here real quick. His base stats, amazing, 27,000 base HP. It really, really stands out for him. His A1 here, he's got triple hit. He's got 50% chance, 60% when fully booked of stealing 1 random buff per hit. And he also has a 50% chance to place Fear. This chance goes up to 100% if the target has no active buffs. With 3 hits and 50% each, your likelihood of landing Fear is actually quite high. I believe it's about just under 90%. Same goes for stealing at least 1 buff. If you go 60%, it's going to be a lot, slightly better, but you're very, very likely to steal at least 1 buff and place your Fear. So this 100% increase, not totally necessary. His A2, this is an amazing rework here. He's got a 4-turn cooldown, 3 turns when fully booked. I don't like these 4 books into damage because he's not a damage dealer or anything like that. So he could have saved some of the book costs here and instead Plarium, adding some heavier book costs to this guy. Attacks all enemies, so affinity issues. Remove all buffs from each target. This places decreased attack and block buffs on all enemies for 2 turns. Very, very solid ability on a 3-turn cooldown. But wait, it also grants an extra turn, effectively making this a 2-turn cooldown. So that's amazing. You can use his A2 into his A3, which is another AoE attack. It places True Fear on everybody on a 4-turn cooldown, 3 turns when fully booked. Also places decreased speed and pushes back the turn meter by 30% if True Fear is placed. It places a 100% sleep for 1 turn if True Fear is not placed. Also decreases each target's turn meter by 30%. So if the initial True Fear is landed, you get decreased speed and decreased turn meter. If the initial fear is not placed, you get sleep, irresistible sleep, by the way, and then you also get a turn meter pushback by 30%. Irresistible sleep is actually really, really good because it's one of the few champions in the game with, I believe, Sifi is the other one. So you can actually use this ability, his A3, against Sand Devil. You can definitely make a team here for this. Since you can't fear the Sand Devil, you can use the sleep ability on him. Now, I don't know what the issue is here. If you push back to turn meter against the Sand Devil, I forgot what his actual mechanics were. Never mind, I just looked it up. So here it is. So if you decrease the Sand Devil's turn meter, you'll destroy your max HP by the same percentage. So that could be a negative for Harvest Jack's A3 here if you want to use him for Sand Devil, just an example. But he's going to open up some team building comps with this ability here just because of its irresistible sleep. So maybe the destroy max HP doesn't matter at all on the team that you're using, but it's a really, really nice control ability on his A3. His passive also is very solid as well and synergizes pretty well with his kit. Whenever an ally is attacked, has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs on the attacker by 1 turn. Whenever this champion is attacked, the chance increases to 100%, and this champion is immune to fear. Not sure if that includes true fear or what, but it just says fear debuffs, I guess. Actually, I'm not sure. This is open to interpretation. Debuffs could be plural for fears. Or yeah, it doesn't say true fear here, so I don't know if he's immune to that. So this is a pretty good passive, synergizes really well with his kit. One glaring issue I find with him is that he doesn't have any type of healing or anything like that. It doesn't have any kind of self-preservation. But he has a lot of CC. Look at all the debuffs this guy's landing here. Also has the fear on the A1 as well with the buff, the buff steal. He doesn't land any buffs himself, but he can steal your buffs. Anyways, super cool kit update for him. He's definitely going to be a very, very strong champion. Let's jump into this build that I have for him. We'll take him into some content. All right, guys, so this is the build I have on my Harvest Jack. He's in Supersonic and Stone Skin. This is a PvP build, but obviously you can use this in PvE as well. I think the best build for Harvest Jack probably is 9-piece Mercurial. just because he does have the extra turn mechanic here. So you'll get the refresh stack right after you use the A2, which is really, really cool. And the Mercurial gives him some, protection against getting nuked right away. I think for him, having Stone Skin is probably going to be a must, especially if you want to bring him into the arena, just because, like I said, he has no way to survive incoming damage or anything like that. He can actually be CC'd pretty easily as well. He has no protection against that, but only, he's only immune to fears. So as long as you don't fear him, then he can be controlled, he can be locked out. But I think his kit is pretty flexible. It leads to some interesting build ideas. You could put him like in a stun set. So now he's doing fears, he's doing stuns, doing a ton of CCs and stuff. You can put him in a shield set as well. He has huge base HP. So you can build a big shield off of him. Don't build him up in damage because he's not a damage dealer or anything like that. But for him, big thing you want is accuracy and you want some speed. Okay. So if you don't have any of these fancy sets, just give him good accuracy, good speed. He does bring accuracy in all battles, which helps a little bit. But you're probably not going to use his aura anyways for most PvP fights. But for PvE fights, then maybe you can bring his accuracy aura. But yeah, just focus on speed and accuracy. He has good base HP already, so he's going to have some decent survivability, even if you don't focus on it. I'm just going to show you guys the base stats here. So 100k HP here. We got 361 speed and a 691 accuracy. Stone Skin and Supersonic here. I am running the wand. Like I said, he can be CC'd kind of easily, see here. So the wand gives him a little bit of protection. We went for increased accuracy when removing buffs. This is a nice epic gem for him. And then we went for increased accuracy whenever an enemy resists a debuff. He has tons of debuffs, so he's going to get that pretty quickly. Yeah, wand of submission, pretty good, pretty standard stuff. There's lots of different relics that's going to be pretty good on him, I think. Even something like for example, not this one, sorry, temporal stagnator could be pretty good, just because he is affinity and then he will weak hit once in a while. You at least want some disruption benefits from this. Also accuracy main stat is kind of nice. Which one is good? The Raven could be interesting, gives you more opportunities to get back his A2 and A3 cycling ability. I was even thinking maybe like using the Orb here. The Orb has a 10% chance at its base level to steal one random buff, and it cannot be resisted. So it just kind of helps him a little bit more, just be a very annoying champion. And why not? You could even put a Magma Cardiac Heart on him so that his opening Magma Shield is just massive and protects your whole team. So pretty flexible on the relics here. On the masteries, again, can be pretty flexible. I went for Temporal Chains here. We do have the 5-star blessing on our Harvest Jack. Temporal Chains just going to be a little bit of disruption, just decrease the enemy speed for each active buff. Again, it penalizes the enemy team for having buffs. And Harvest Jack is a big disruptor, big buff menace here. You could also go for Life Harvest as well. Life Harvest is pretty good. Destroys max HP and gives a little bit of turn meter. So a little bit of turn meter for Harvest Jack just for more disruption. I was even thinking maybe something like Polymorph could be okay. He does have high accuracy and will protect him from some debuffs. Also, there might be less wands in the meta nowadays, so that might actually be okay. Lightning Cage, always a solid choice if you're running Stone Skin, so you don't want that to get stripped off, for example. And even something like Indomitable Spirit could be okay. You get a decent chance of blocking debuffs that are incoming in. So in terms of the masteries are a little bit interesting here as well. Harvest Despair is going to be pretty good. He lands a lot of fears and stuff, so you're going to get a good chance at getting leeches out. That's going to give you a little bit of healing. I went for a little bit of healing here with Shadow Heal, a little bit of healing here as well. Prevent getting nuked down by big crits. And then I went for Retribution and Deterrence. This is just to activate his A1, just to be more disruptive. And then I went for Arcane Celerity here. Yeah, he lands a lot of debuffs, so you're going to get a lot of turn meter back. And I went for Eagle Eye for increased accuracy. All right, let's bring him into some content and see how well he does. All right, let's see him lock down this wave here. Obviously, affinity issues do apply here. So if you're fighting magic affinity, it's going to be a better chance of him getting resisted and all that. But you can kind of see him taking care of this wave here, just fearing them. 2-turn fear, very nasty. The decreased speed, the turn meter stuff. He's very good at locking down waves. Going to give your team opportunity just to blow through them, to recover and all that. Now the big thing about Harvest Jack is that he doesn't have built-in healing in his kit. So if you can find healing on the team, or if you can find healing from a gear set or from a relic or from a mastery, that's going to be really, really helpful. Um, but yeah, just to show that he can actually do some of this stuff. He does a crazy amount of debuffs here. Even a feral set could be interesting for him. So we're going to bring him into this first wave of dragons. Actually kind of interesting here. You notice that when I don't land fears, they land sleep. So because the fears are already applied, they get slept. It's kind of interesting actually. But yeah, this is some crazy turn meter control here. And yeah, the waves haven't even taken a single hit yet because they're either feared or sleeping. Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. And then we're cycling back so quickly back to the A2. They're back asleep. There's a lot of crowd control here. Look at that. And then, of course, the turn meter pushback. Very crazy. I don't think they even had one hit yet. Yep. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. Look, back to sleep. Because the feared never land, they go back to sleep. That one had a turn, but then got feared. 2-turn fears. Absolutely nasty stuff. So pretty cool. Yeah. Crazy wave control champion here for Harvest Jack. Just a crazy kit. But he doesn't deal any damage, and he doesn't have a lot of healing. We're just healing off of Leech right now. You see the greens coming off. He's not doing any damage here. All right. Okay, cool. We know that he's a crazy wave control champion. All right, let's showcase him a little bit in some arena fights here. Now, I want him to be the lone control champion to see if he can actually do it. Obviously, bringing a lockout is probably your best type of control because it can't be blocked by stone skin and all that stuff. A lot of his kit, can be stopped by affinity, can be stopped by stone skin. So we open with the A2 here. We're going to do the decrease attack block buffs with the strip. So we can strip off this unkillable stuff. And then we go into the fears and stuff. All right. So let's see what happens. 1 time speed. So we remove the block damage, which is amazing. And then we got the block buffs out, which is also amazing. Now we're going to go into the decreased speed and true fears with the turn meter pushbacks. 1 time speed. And yeah, it all happens. All very nice. All very nice. All very happens. And then Carnage is going to come here in here and probably sweep up all this stuff. Yeah, so really good. I mean, it worked out here. But look at all these debuffs. It's crazy. Look at all these debuffs here. There we go. Marichka. Unfortunately, the fear didn't proc there. And then Senna was able to revive. There we go. Now we're back cycling through the A2, A3 again. Crazy. Actually crazy. The amount of A2 and A3 cycling, right? Just because you get the extra turn and then that's it. Look how many debuffs these guys have. Pretty cool. Worked out there pretty well. Not too much stone skin, I think, on that team. But let's try another team here. Our team is not particularly fast. So, we can risk getting locked out and stuff. And since we don't have our own lockout, then we have to choose some teams that are not super, super fast. So luckily we go first here. We do remove 1 stone skin. Now we're going to get locked out. And this is going to be a spot where Harvest Jack is just not going to be very good when he's locked out. But let's try his A1. Let's see if we can steal this stone skin. That's going to be pretty cool. Resisted, target change. And then, of course, the stone skin protection there. Maybe we can slap him a little bit. Okay. Oof. Of course, Roto's gonna run wild here. And Fabian, we got immunity against Fabian, but Fabian also has pretty good immunity against us. All right, so let's see what Harvest Jack can do here. Oh, and we got sheep. Yeah, so that's one of the bad things about all his debuffs, because occasionally we will get sheeped. So that's a little bit of a bummer there. All right, let's try this one. Harvest Jack, like the one that we have built, we are using Wand of Submission, so it does give us a chance to save us from enemy sheeps. So we couldn't get the strip here. Let's see if we can get the strip here with our A2, 1 time speed. And We don't. So again, Stone Skin plus the Lightning Cage, obviously preventing us from stripping off Stone Skin. Now these guys are feared. And looks like somebody has Wand because we got wanded and we got slept. So again, a little bit annoying. Okay. Let's kill him. Look at those debuffs. Crazy amount of debuffs. Yeah, and that's going to be it. So pretty cool. Like when it works pretty well, but there's obviously things that are not going to be working in favor of Harvest Jack's A2, just because, like I said, Affinity, you got Lightning Cage, you got Stone Skin. So any kind of like on hit strip removal, there's ways to prevent that. And let's see how we do against this Predator team. Mercurial, that bunch of Mercurial stuff. Mercurial is going to stop this pretty well too. But let's see if we can strip some of these buffs, or at least let's see if we can strip some buffs here. Nope, they're protected. That's why. Whoops. Protected buffs can't strip. Keep that in mind. All right, let's see if we land some fears here. Only fears on the Necrit. Mercurial stacks being annoying. Can we steal this stuff off of Duchess? No, not really. All right, Harvest Jack time. Can we strip? Strip and block buffs. Let's go. Come on, strip. All right, we landed some. We landed some stuff right into the A1. A1, let's see if we can steal and fear. Maybe we want to fear up this Volcanos. Don't think that landed anything. Increase defense. Predator being an absolute menace. There we go. We got the block revive. That's kind of nice. All right, we're going to come in here with the true fears. Decrease speed. Nice. That is nice. And our Hilvey's going to start taking over now. Predator has boosted evade now, so we got kind of lucky there. All right, so this fight's done. So that's, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad for Harvest Jack there. Obviously, Mercurial is going to stop him as well. He literally cannot do anything against that. At least with Stone Skin, he has a chance to remove it, but against Mercurial, he can't do anything about that. The good thing is his A2 is a hit, so it's going to take off one stack at least. And he does have a multi-hit A1, which is going to help against the Mercurial stacks as well. All right, let's test against this team here. All right, so we do have the supersonic set, so that's going to allow us to cut in against the Sifi, and the Sifi doesn't have protection set, so that's pretty good. It's going to give us a chance to strip everybody, and we kind of do affinity issues against Lazurius here. Back into our A3, and this is where our True Fear decreased speed is going to come in, and Termir pushback, and there we go. Pretty good. That worked out pretty well. Got resisted a bunch. That kind of sucks. And let's shut her down. Here we go. Boom. Survived. All right. We're looking pretty good. Everybody's pretty much shut down here. Either feared. Let's steal the plus attack. And we stole the plus attack and feared him. So that's kind of nice. And do this. Health swap. Yeah, that's about it. That's GG. Pretty good. That worked out pretty well. So that's kind of like the strength of the supersonic set, right? Playing against the Sifi there. We didn't go first. CP went first. And then after she used the supersonic set, Harvest Jack jumped in there and then stripped all their stuff. That also shows you the strength of having a protection set on your CFE to protect some of your buffs from getting stripped off, right? All right, let's try that again. This time it's against CFE again. So Harvest Jack with this kind of build will work relatively okay. Again, no protection set here. So we're going to come in and then we're going to do the strip and then block buffs. See if that works. And it works on two of them, not too bad. So I mean, I'm kind of tempted to use the A1 almost, but I do want to shut down his Hecaton, which is pretty nuts. So let's do that. So fear, decrease speed. I'm going to come back in with the strip and freeze. Nice. That worked out pretty well for us. We got two forms of kind of CC here, which helps a little bit. Let's shut down some of these guys. Who do we want to shut down? Let's shut down Hilvy. Damn, that nice defense on you. And let's fear nice. Can we do that? Yes. Nice got feared. And let's kill her. Gets revived. That kind of sucks. And we can kill you. There we go. Everybody gets spread. All right. Harvest Jack, control. Fears. I think we got wanded there. That kind of sucks. All right, got a bit of healing. Healing really helps. There we go. Carnage was able to shut down the passive there from Nice, and then we took it down. So not too bad, right? Harvest Jack doing his part there. Obviously, a little bit of support from Hilvy with the strip as well, and of course Carnage doing the heavy damage dealing. But yeah, really strong support champion there. I think that showcased him pretty decently, especially in this supersonic type build. Like I said, I definitely recommend Stone Skin. He doesn't have a way to protect himself or keep himself alive. He does have the anti-fear on his passive, but honestly, that's just one of many crowd controls. So the wand gives him a little bit of protection against some crowd controls, but he's going to be a big sheep target and yeah, big crowd control target. But otherwise, if he can run loose, he does quite a bit. Terminator pushback, fears, decreased speed. He is crazy in terms of overall control, but he does need a little bit of support. Healing, that's a big difference as well. He does land leech. Make sure you grab Harvest Despair on his mastery. That's going to help him out, help out your rest of your team as well. But his build is you can build him very flexible as well. Like I said, shield set, stun set, just perception, speed and accuracy, they all work. As long as you don't build him with damage, of course. Could even build him with a chronophage set to prevent him from getting locked out. Even if he's locked out, he's actually not too bad. He's got the A1 triple hit to break mercurial stacks. He's got the passive, which will not strip, but reduce the duration of enemy buffs. So he's not totally useless, even when he's locked out. And as soon as he can get back to his A2, he can cycle back into his A3. So pretty nice. I like it. I'm going to build him out on the live server and probably use him at least in my faction wars, and he's going to be pretty cool. But the slight negative is that you'll see him in some waves and he's going to be a lot more troublesome. Anyways, guys, this build's pretty end game, obviously. Make sure you guys scale it down for your own account, your own progress, of course. He's still going to be effective wherever wherever you are in your account. Is he better than somebody like Fabian? Probably not, just because Fabian, does contribute even if protected by Mercurial or Stone Skin. Like he can lock out, of course, through those. And then, Fabian does have his own kind of protection. He has a speed aura as well. And the unfortunate part is that they are in the same faction, both Undead Horse, so they share the same accessories. So, in my opinion, Fabian's still going to be way better than Harvest Jack. But if you don't have Fabian, Harvest Jack's going to be pretty cool. And in a pinch, Harvest Jack can be used in some places that Fabian might not be used. For example, block buffs, decreased attack can be used in places like Hydra, but obviously in like emergency situations. But still, an AoE block buff could actually be kind of useful. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this showcase on Harvest Jack. He did get rebalanced and he's actually really good now. So make sure you guys check him out. If you guys have him in the vault, I think it's time to take him out and give him a bit of a test. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this new Harvest Jack. If you guys enjoy the content, please hit that like and subscribe button. It does help me out quite a bit. Thanks for watching until the end. Appreciate you all, and I'll see you guys in the next one.